the Absa Red Cup series, episode 3, where we talk about strategic initiatives within Absa, our colleagues' journeys around those initiatives, and the benefits really that they have derived from that. This episode is themed purpose, social impact, and colleague volunteering. And I'm joined to unpack this by Ruwaida Livingston, who will talk about herself. She's a retentions manager. I'll give her an opportunity to say a little bit about herself. And Zintle Khazia, who leads the group's colleague volunteering efforts. So we will find out today what it is that Absa has in place for colleagues to be able to expand our reach and impact as we seek to be an active force for good.
My name is Ruwaida Livingston and I am from the home loan space. I'm so happy to be here today to give that insight from a colleague's perspective. It is nice to go out of your work, your normal working day and go out and do something that will have a lasting impact through the Force for Good initiative. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ruwaida. Zintle?
Good day, my name is Zintle Khazia and I am in corporate citizenship leading the colleague volunteering portfolio. It's really awesome to be here with our colleagues who have really shown up in being an active force for good in the communities that we operate in. And I'm very much driven and passionate about being a social change maker in the communities that we operate in. So it's really lovely to be here today.
Right. Thank you, ladies, for that, and welcome again. I'm really looking forward to having this exciting conversation with you. Within corporate citizenship, we are always very clear that our colleagues are our eyes, our hands, and feet. We also understand that our colleagues are more than a retentions manager or more than a lead for colleague volunteering. There's so much more that you do. You are close to the communities that we operate in. You understand the socio-economic dynamics of those areas. So we do actually have a great dependency on you taking up the baton and saying, I'm going to help the organization be an active force for good in everything that we do. So we are actually going to start with you, our force for good, Ruwaida, and ask you to share a moment where your work or something that you did enabled you to create an impact within the community.
Okay, so basically, through the Force for Good initiatives, it allowed me not only as a colleague but as a manager as well to allow colleagues to participate in these activities, because that's the way we will get the message across, get the word across, get more colleagues exposed to this type of impact that they can have on the community, besides just doing the most in their day-to-day tasks.
Absolutely. So what was the initiative that you participated in that enabled you to do this?
Plenty.
All right, great.
Plenty. And the Planting Trees initiative, the Rise for Hunger, educating the youth,
right,
and also some sideline projects that I work on personally.
Well, I can tell you we were happy. We are always happy to have colleagues participate in our initiatives. We now want to understand, how has volunteering in social impact work that we invite you to participate in impacted your everyday work? Have you found that it has fed back into this, and how?
Yes. So through these initiatives, it allows one to have more empathy, see things from a different perspective, be more kind, be more accommodating to colleagues, life is tough. So giving back to the community, seeing the community in example, difficult situations, and knowing that you can help with a meal, just a meal,
Absolutely.
It has that impact. And to bring it back to business, it really aligns with our vision.
Did you ever have a time where now you felt like, I am clear that what I do is more than retentions? I am part of a bigger whole. I am part of contributing towards the social imperatives of the country. And how did that click in?
So I think, when we actually went out and we met the kids at the school where we did the planting of the trees, they had a little dance and, seeing their beautiful smiles come across, and they were excited to see us. Yes, it was rainy, it was muddy, we were cold, but we had fun, and meeting them and knowing that this is going to have a lasting impact, not just, for the day, but through when the fruits or the plants are now grown into full spectrum, it's going to have a meaningful impact for the future of the school, the kids that are going to come through.
You make such a good example, and it's something that we see all the time, Zinhle, whenever we go to colleague volunteering activity, or whenever we just undertake any corporate citizenship work, and especially the pleasure of meeting the beneficiaries, because not always that we are able to meet the beneficiaries, right? But whenever we are able to meet with the beneficiaries, it's always a wonder to watch the interaction between the young people and Absa colleagues, right? I think that's the biggest part of the engagement, and I always think back to the moments in my own life where I saw and started realizing that something was possible. It was because someone that looked like me came to where I was, and I was able to have a conversation, and suddenly I could start realizing what the building blocks were that would enable me to get to a certain point, but also just to see what is possible. It really goes a long way. I know of a saying, it's mostly related to girls or women, or maybe that's the context that I heard it the first time, when it says she has to see it to want to be it. Sure. Right? So more than dropping off a pair of shoes, more than planting, which is something that lasts forever, by the way, you mentioned the fruits, more than dropping off a pair of shoes, a borehole, or planting the trees, you are saying to a young person, this is possible. You are saying that I'm alive just like you, and one day you can also be like me. That's always exciting. And that simply brings us to you.
Yes.
As the lead of colleague volunteering for the group. Share with us the initiatives currently underway that colleagues can participate in to deliver exactly what Rueda has spoken about, right? And to give them the feeling that Rueda has been experiencing increasingly as she participates in colleague volunteering.
Thank you for that, Mpho. And I think we've had quite a number of group-led volunteering efforts this year. Yeah. We've taken quite a clear direction of travel in terms of how we want to show up in our communities. And part of our Pan-African volunteering efforts is enabling colleagues to come and participate in group-led initiatives. This year already we have done tree planting as part of our green volunteering efforts, not only in SA but in different markets as well within our African regional operations. We had South Africa participating across all 9 provinces, colleagues in Uganda, in Ghana, and this just goes to show that in how we deliver, we really try to be Pan-African in our approach. One of the other initiatives which Rueda spoke to as well is the International Day of the African Child, where we were supporting young children, or rather we asked colleagues to contribute towards the school shoe drive, which was national, and we're also wanting to scale that as well in our African markets. We have a huge problem in South Africa where kids don't have school shoes, and we asked our colleagues to walk the journey with us. Rueda is one of them, and through that campaign, the essential outcome that we're wanting to derive is that young people have the opportunity to be dignified as well. We did the Footprints campaign last year, and as a result of that, we scaled and amplified the impact in 2025. But part of the proof points when we went to Mpumalanga earlier on this year was that, some of the kids for the first time felt like they were being seen, right? And we take something like school shoes for granted, but you don't know what you're doing. And we had colleagues from different areas in the business coming through. And like she was saying, you might be contributing towards something that you think is just one initiative, but it has a multiplier effect. And that is what we're trying to drive when it comes to being an active force for good. Some of the other initiatives that we're driving as well is skills-based volunteering. We did that this year in June, also around Youth Month in South Africa, where we brought our colleagues alongside with us to say, these are some of the Absa beneficiaries and some of the citizenship programs that we're running, kids that are at a high school level. How can you as a colleague give back by coaching, mentoring, imparting skills to these young people? And I tell you, the atmosphere in the room was absolutely electric. The young people walked away feeling that, you know, one day they could too work for a big organization like Absa, like you were saying. You know, some of these young people don't get that level of exposure, but as well for our colleagues, I think it was one of those areas where they felt that they have given back meaningfully to society, but also to the future generations of not only this country in South Africa, but the continent at large.
Thank you for that, Zinhle. And I have to say that as an Absa colleague, and maybe in my biased position of also being a member of the corporate citizenship portfolio, it's been exciting to see how we have ramped up our activity, right? We actively take the learnings and the insights from each year and each initiative that we deliver, and we ramp up. And I'm happy to share that this year, that the skills volunteering that you are sharing about, it was the second year that we were doing it, and this year was ramped up significantly. So a hearty well done to you and the team within programs for that bit of work. You're not talking about ramping up delivery. Talk to us about how it is that you measure then and report on the impact that colleagues deliver. But more importantly also, do you recognize colleagues for the work that they do? Do you reward them for the work that they do?
Yeah, very good question.
Not that that's the only reason you want them to do it, but it would be great to hear how it is that you track it, report on it, and whether you reward.
Absolutely. So we do have the Force for Good portal, which is a Pan-African portal where all volunteering efforts get recorded. And we've noticed some of the gaps where colleagues are not necessarily sure where the portal exists, but as part of our broadened awareness campaign this year, we've really tried to stay as top of mind in terms of creating that level of awareness. From a scorecard perspective, we're quite clear. Our target is 25% of all Absa colleagues volunteering at least once a year. And this is also monitored across all of our different markets. That target is around about just north of 9,000 colleagues volunteering. And I'm happy to say that in H1, we're tracking quite well. We've seen a ramp up, as you've mentioned, in our volunteering efforts and in our arrow markets. Some of our colleagues are really doing well when it comes to skills-based volunteering with Ready to Work. Part of our broadened offerings of support as well is to say, how do we as corporate citizenship play that enabling role, so we both have non-financial and financial support for volunteering activities, and that then gets measured in the group scorecard from a corporate citizenship perspective, where we're able to see the number of colleagues that were engaged, the number of volunteering hours that they've participated in, as well as also tracking and monitoring some of the success stories that have come out of our volunteering initiatives. When we landed the corporate citizenship strategy and launched it, one of the big drivers was to say, how do we get champions, volunteering champions? And I can tell you, the champion network is the most exciting part of my day job. And these are colleagues who've put up their hands to say, we want to show up, we want to be an active force for good, we want to give back to our communities. And since we landed the volunteering champions, I mean, Rueda can speak to that. We've really seen quite a huge incremental jump in colleagues participating in group-led initiatives. During Mandela Month this year, we painted, Absa Red with our Absa volunteers. We had some of the leaders participating. We had colleagues from Johannesburg, from Durban, from Free State, from Cape Town, volunteering and showing up and being an active force for good. But this also just goes to show that as part of our embedded and collective impact, we've really managed to gather colleagues to stand up and say they too want to be part of the Force for Good narrative, Force for Good story. And really is to say that as colleagues, we see your stories, but as well as to say that your story as a colleague really matters in how you show up in our communities.
you had the CEO at one of the initiatives. Our newly minted CEO at one of the initiatives. Well done. And it's a great indicator of how seriously actually Absa takes this strategic ambition to be an active force for good. We spoke earlier about the fact that we are very clear that the 17 colleagues within corporate citizenship cannot deliver all of the work that is necessary.
Yeah.
So we depend heavily on the 35,000 complement of colleagues to enable us to expand our reach and scale the impact that we want to deliver with this strategic ambition. So a big kudos for having, that example, right, from the very top of what it is that Absa stands for. You look like you're itching to say something there. It's probably about your experience.
Yes,
But I just want to finish with Zintle on rewards. Do you have any rewards, recognition for colleagues for the work that they do? Is it something that's still in the works?
Thanks for that, Mpo. It's actually quite exciting. We do have the inaugural Social Impact Awards happening this year, towards the end of the year.
You'll be glad to know.
And the Social Impact Awards is part of our rewarding and incentivizing of, and really just giving back to say to colleagues, we see your efforts.
Yeah.
As you've mentioned, they're the ones that really help us to amplify how we show up in our communities. So we've got the Social Impact Awards, which are recognizing colleagues from different areas of the business, different clusters, as well as the different countries. And this is quite exciting. As part of our broadened offerings of support as well, we do have non-financial and financial support to colleagues. And of course, we're always trying to improve our value proposition. But with the financial support, there's enabling mechanisms that we do have at Center, which is the volunteering grant, matched funding. However, in other markets as well, we've seen that colleagues are utilizing and trying to make sure that they also provide broadened offerings of support at a country level. But what's quite important and what's quite exciting are the Social Impact Awards. It's the first time Absa is, having recognition awards, particularly for colleagues who are showing up and being an active force for good. So it's going to be lights, camera, action, and we're hoping that, all the colleagues that have walked this journey with us will really feel special and recognized on that day.
We look forward to it. Well done for being a repeat offender. Now you could be in line for the first Social Impact Awards within Absa. Congratulations on getting to that point. For the benefit of our colleagues and just the bank and the communities, because the more you recognize colleagues, the more we have of them taking this work, right? So it does have an all-rounded benefit to it. You were dying to say something.
I was literally dying. So just circling back to the CEO, so there I was, just packing the meals, rushing, to try to get as many meals packed as possible. In strolls the CEO with Dr. Zwale asked. Everybody was like, celebrity high. Asking me, move over, can I get a picture with the CEO? And passing me their phones. And it was just excitement overall. And to have that leadership presence, it just goes beyond any form of, like you're saying, yes, you're going to have awards, you're going to be rewarding colleagues, but just meeting the CEO and having those pictures taken and sharing it with the teams, it goes beyond that reach that we're trying to get, So, yeah, it was amazing.
It is so important.
It is. And I think, it's exactly how we're wanting our leaders to show up in the organization. It's leadership role modeling.
Yeah.
One of the initiatives that we actually also ran was leadership role modeling, where leaders also play their part in being an active force for good. But I must say, seeing the new CEO really just being there, packing meals with the colleagues, to me was a great demonstration of solid leadership and leadership that is around, encouraging colleagues and also seeing our colleagues in the efforts that they drive.
Sounds like you had a prime spot to have colleagues pushing you out of the way so you positioned yourself well for whatever reason SFE knew, but congratulations on that. We wish we had been there as well to take a picture with the CEO, but our time will come. So let's get into the meat of it. All right, purpose work is not easy. Purpose work is not easy, particularly when you feel like not everyone thinks the same way that you do, or sometimes you just have more pressing responsibilities to think of. So Rueda, why don't you share with us a time where you felt a little bit of a disconnect to your purpose, and what was the one thing that enabled that reconnection or that realignment for you to be able to deliver again? We can see that it's something that is very important to you. So was there a time where you felt like you were losing?
Okay, so I have to be honest, I didn't feel a disconnect personally, but where I felt the disconnect would maybe be where not enough colleagues are being part of these initiatives. So to allow them, to plan, organize, obviously work does come first. However, if we plan effectively, we can allow more colleagues to go and participate. And what I love mainly about our Force for Good is the creation of the platform.
Yeah.
Because that allows colleagues to register, to see what's coming up, to allow them to plan better with line managers, so that they can be awarded that opportunity to come out and make a difference. So if there was a disconnect, it was maybe because there wasn't something like that where we would have full view of it. But now that we have it, I don't see any disconnection for future.
Yeah. No, I'm very happy to hear that. So the ability to, at a group level, to lead conceptualization of initiatives or programs that colleagues can be a part of, and having the portal that at all times enables them to be able to go on to the portal, create profiles, as well as see what is coming up so that they can join either as individuals or teams, if teams unfortunately are not in a position to participate together. At least you can tag along with another team to be able to undertake the work. So that's quite an important piece of the work that you are doing, isn't it, at the center, because it enables colleagues not to be disconnected too long from their passion.
Yes.
What about colleagues who think purpose work or colleague volunteering or citizenship work is only for certain portfolios? What has been your experience? In fact, more specifically, what would you say to them? What would you say to someone who says colleague volunteering or social impact work is only for the corporate affairs or corporate citizenship portfolio?
So basically for me, I would ask them, if you needed to breed, would you ask your neighbor to breed for you? That's how important I see it. It should come naturally, it should come from the heart, and knowing that, what you're doing is going to add benefit and value for who you impact or who you meet in, or to have an impact with, that will last a longer time. So it's not just, what I also like to say, it's not role specific. It does not mean that if I'm an executive, I don't need to show up. So for me personally, what I've done is, and I've changed levels quite often and changed roles quite often, what I do is I interact with my manager, and I, make that known to them that there is a part of me, this is what I love to contribute on, and I will not fail in any of my work-related tasks. I'll manage my time effectively, but allow me to go and participate, and that has worked tremendously over the past few years. So that I just encourage colleagues to ask, and it's either yes or no, and you take it from there.
That is so important. You said, I would say, if you needed to breathe, would you go and ask your neighbor to breathe on your behalf? And I'm probably not quoting it properly, but certainly the thing that I took out of it is what we always say, that the survival, growth and sustainability of communities is very closely aligned to the survival, growth and sustainability of Absa, because we understand that we are here because of the communities, and for us to grow, our communities also have to be growing. And I'm so glad that you brought it home to that level. That is how imperative it is. I really appreciate that. Well done, and I hope our colleagues will start seeing it this way. Zindle, you've spoken about a lot of good work that has been done within corporate citizenship and colleague volunteering in particular. We have commended you on ramping up. We're excited about the social impact awards that are coming. You've been able to get a CEO to one of the colleague volunteering initiatives. And so it's almost difficult to ask you this question, but I'm curious to understand if you see any scope for growth still within the colleague volunteering portfolio or initiatives.
Yeah, thank you for that, Mpho. I think, one of the areas that, because we landed on some of our objectives this year, one of the prime objectives is to drive skills-based volunteering. When you look at volunteering, typically, colleagues would come and volunteer on a once-off basis or maybe sometimes regularly, but very much embedded on colleagues showing up, doing handovers, and then, going back to business as usual. So what we're trying to implement and trying to embed around skills-based volunteering is that, number one, we know that every single Absa colleague has a skill set that they have. They are a subject matter expert in the work that they do. So how can they then go and impart back these skills at a community level? But also above and beyond that, we do have certain assets within corporate citizenship, like Ready to Work. There's the Financial Literacy Fridays as well, where we're trying to drive financial inclusion through our strategy of financial inclusion through entrepreneurship. So it's really driving a collective effort when it comes to colleagues giving back of their skills at a community level, whether it's through some of the citizenship programs that we're driving, or it's a school in your community or a charitable organization. How do we drive that? And we've seen it happen, like you've mentioned. Some of our colleagues in the tech space do digital skills training for kids. We've seen some of our colleagues in PPB, which is personal business banking, impart skills as well in career days. So we're really wanting to drive. We have a target of all volunteering efforts. 30% of it has to be skills-based volunteering, and we're hoping that we can ramp this up and also drive this culture within the organization. Another component as well is, I think as Reda had mentioned, sometimes colleagues don't know. So driving that level of awareness, being top of mind around what is available, where colleagues can volunteer, etc. And I think something that you also often say is being uniform in our approach.
Yeah.
So driving uniformity. How do we then start really building on Pan-African volunteering, right? Where we can effectively say, for instance, with the green volunteering efforts, we had, more than 3 markets participating, planted over, a number of trees. I think in one of the countries, they planted over, 200,000 trees. And that part of, collective impact then tells a broader story, and a story that is Pan-African around what Absa and how Absa is showing up in our communities across the regions that we're operating in.
The untapped potential is really in trying to get the story as far and as wide as possible. And the ultimate goal is for every last one of our colleagues to be a volunteer in one way or another. All right, we all have agency. Imagine if all 35,000 of us undertook some kind of volunteering activity, that tree planted, that hour of mentorship, that hour of skills volunteering. But I think more importantly, being uniform, as you mentioned, in our execution across all of the markets that we operate in, and also not treating it as a once-off activity. We would like, as much as possible, our colleagues to even think of their own initiatives that they can partake in and bring to you. because your portfolio has done such a good job of enabling colleagues to come up with their own initiatives and come to you for the financial as well as non-financial support that is on offer. Well, we are looking forward to some very, very big things within that portfolio, and we hope that this conversation starts the creation of that awareness as well as that excitement. I think having Rueda here has gone a long way in displaying the value, how easy it is to do it, and the value of just doing it. And this is this brings us into us, Rueda, asking you, how has this purpose-aligned work that you have done now within Absa and in your personal capacity changed your own view of the world in general, or your own view of yourself in general?
In my own capacity, I have, registered, and I'm a qualified indoor cycling instructor. I've always wanted to get women, in the community or neighborhood. We need to get off our couches, guys. Keep healthy, keep fit. Just this past Saturday for Women's Day, I hosted a indoor cycling spinning session. And yes, I got some numbers through. It was held at my gym. So, just to get women active. So it gives me a sense of I'm living, I'm giving back, whether it's through exercising or conversation, just random, just to know that I have an impact on somebody, it gives me a great pleasure. Yeah.
So, retentions manager, social impact practitioner,
Love it.
women activist, and now a spinning instructor. It's like I always say, no one is ever just one thing.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
No one is ever just one thing. We have our own agency. We have journeys that we have walked. We have our own passions and interests, and we can invest them back into our communities. What then, Rueda, would you say to someone who would like to undertake purpose-led work, who would like to practice in social impact, but does not know where to start?
Okay, so I would basically say register on the platform. That's the first thing. Read the comments, there's questions. There's no one that's not gonna support you if you're looking for something. And to everyone that knows me or those that don't know me but see me in the corridors, you're welcome to approach me and ask me. If I don't know, I do pass on to Razia. But just, be out there. You must. So I like to tell the team I like things. So whenever there's anything coming up, I'm number one.
Yeah.
And so just, ask, read, and make a plan to make it happen.
Yeah. Those are the basics of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ask,
read, make a plan.
That's the theme. That's how we are closing. That's how we are closing this, although we are not at the end. I want to come to you, Zintle. You interact with a lot of colleagues. I think very few people are as well known as you are across Absa now. You interacted with colleagues in different markets, within different portfolios, at different levels, right? Because volunteering comes from all of those. What have you observed as the tangible benefits of colleague volunteering or participating in corporate citizenship work to how then colleagues perceive Absa as an organization, perceive the culture, and even just their interest to stick around within Absa? Retention, what have you seen as the tangible benefits of participating in those things?
Sure. I mean, post-COVID, I think morale across the board was, it had taken quite a big dip. And oftentimes, colleagues come to me and they say, oh my goodness, we didn't know Absa does this. The approach that we have is so agnostic, meaning that it's open. We very much accommodative of a colleague, whether you're a once-off volunteer, you're a regular volunteer, you just want to come and do a group-led activity. So colleagues find that level of agility quite welcoming. And the fact that as well, we're also quite open in our approach to say, we come from different communities. I come all the way from the Eastern Cape, and colleagues then say, oh, I don't know that I could go give back in my community, close to my proximity, close to where I come from. And that has been one of the tangible benefits. Some of the elements that we've seen are colleagues saying, I went back to my school, a school that I graduated in, a couple of years ago, and I gave back, and I came back from that experience completely changed. And I love my job. I love the work that we do as an organization. I love how we empower colleagues, how we enable them to show up and be a force for good. But I think above and beyond that, volunteering is also a personal journey. It's a personal milestone. You might do it once and your life completely changes from that. You might do it regularly and people in your community recognize you as a social change agent. And if we look at the socioeconomic dynamics that we're facing as a country, as a continent, it's the people. It is the people behind the titles that make a lasting contribution in society. My grandmother always used to say to me that it doesn't matter whether you change one life or many lives, just wake up every day with a purpose and intentionality around being the difference that you want to see. And one of the quotes I'm quite passionate about by Udat Mandela is, it always seems impossible until it's done. Sometimes I also wake up and I'm like, am I going to be able to do this? And then the CEO rocks up. And I think it's like you were saying as well, it's a shared value approach. And I think, once we embed this mindset of, understanding that as responsible corporate citizens, the change that we do does have a multiplier effect in the communities that we operate in. So some of those tangible outcomes in Paul has been really seeing the delight in colleagues, also seeing that, they too feel part of a bigger ecosystem within Absa. And number 3, that they feel seen.
Yeah, without a doubt. Thank you for that, Zintle. It's always, at least from my perspective, I always tell myself with volunteering and choosing initiatives that I participate in as an Absa employee or even in my own personal capacity, I always want to make sure that I become the person that I had hoped I would get, would have come to me and offered that support when I was 12. 13, 14, 15. So thank you for giving us the structure, really, to be able to do that and fulfill our purposes. Ladies, it has been absolutely outstanding. I don't get tired. As a social impact practitioner, I don't get tired of having this conversation. I don't get tired of hearing the personal experiences of colleagues and how we continue to outperform and just grow in our efforts within this area. Regrettably, we have come to the end, but it has been a really good conversation, good quality and powerful conversation. So some parting shots for both of you. If impact is the legacy we want to leave behind, what, in your opinion, is the small act we can do now to leave the world better than it was when we found it? Let's start with you.
So for me, if you're going to be anything, be kind. That's what I would say.
For me, it's always starting with the why. Being intentional about your journey, about how you can bring back and give back to your own community, and being purpose-led. And I think, to Rueda's point, being kind is so important, because the world is hard. There's so many social ills that we face. But I think the one thing I also just want to leave with is that every human being has a role and purpose to play in your journey in life. And I'm hoping that, you know, some of the work that we do does empower and bring about that spark of igniting change in our colleagues and how they can also show up in various ways in the communities that we operate in.
Using your agency, ladies, thank you very much for your time. It has been a great conversation, insightful, meaningful, and very inspirational. Continue with the work that it is that you are doing, and we look forward to seeing you on global stages and achieving your big numbers of 35,000. We look forward to greater fulfillment with the work that you do within the community, but very well done to both of you. And on that note, I recommend that we do a combined toast.